Where are you based now?
I am pretty nomadic. I'm part of a community in Costa Rica, and that's my base, but I'm not there right now. I'm in Cusco at the moment.
Cusco, so the city of the Incas.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been just kind of walking around in awe at the Incas and yeah, the mystery of them.
I think the city plan was laid out as a puma.
Yes, fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I have been there too, so I know Cusco a little bit.
What were you doing in Cusco?
I was just a tourist. No, since I was young, I did a in my premier how do you call it? Not my secondary school, but not the high school, but the school before.
Okay.
I read a lot about the Incas, and when I was finally earning some money, I said to my then girlfriend, now my wife, let's go do the Inca stuff. So that's why. But the interview is not about me; it's about you. Why are you now in Cusco?
Maybe we should just make it about the Incas. It
Okay,
might be the most interesting.
good.
Um, I'm in Cusco because I actually came here with my family. They've since left. We came on a family trip. And then I will go to the jungle where I study every year. So I'm on my way there in the next few days.
When is your fascination or maybe fascination or your interest start with this with healing and with the Amazon with this teachers it's Shipibo, how do you call it, pronounce it?
Shipibo.
Yeah, Shipibo. What was your quest? What did you want to do?
I was really just working on healing myself and their particular cosmovision I found like deeply enlightening. The idea that the plants have all this knowledge and wisdom, and we can turn to them for guidance while we're here on our walk on Earth. And so I studied with them to begin learning that, and to also, work on myself and my own challenges, and have found over the years like a lot of unseen, unforeseen magic and support in the process.
Is there one thing that you can share? I mean, with the healing process of the plants or the years that you've studied this?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think there's been, well, just on a physical level, I haven't been private about the fact that I recently underwent surgery for my endometriosis. And in the year leading up to it, I was trying to see if it was possible to avoid that surgery. And so I went down to the jungle and did this month-long, what they're called dietas, where the maestro or shaman basically prescribes you a plant diet, and you uh, sort of isolate from the world while you're moving through this process. And he prescribed me a specific mixture of plants that's good for womb healing. And I had an MRI taken after working with him, and the doctors were very shocked. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to avoid the surgery completely, but there was certain things that were on my MRI before I went down there that had disappeared.
Okay.
Mhm.
When did you, because well, maybe in this process too, you released within a 6 year span, you released 3 albums, but now
Mhm.
7 years for this album. Um,
Yes,
why the delay? Did it have something to do with your healing process or?
for sure. I put my last two records out on a record label, and the last one I put out in 2018, I just really burnt out after I put it out, touring, and just the way the whole process went. I felt kind of done with the music industry, not done with music. Um, and I really just let it go.
Yeah.
And I had no expectation to make another record. Uh, and I think that's why this record is just like actually so pure and deep, is because I really made it because I had to, not because I was striving for anything. And I made it on my own timeline and outside of the constraints of a music industry framework. Um, and so it took 7 years for me to move through the experiences that I guess warranted songs.
What was the starting point? What was the first song for this album?
Yeah, the first song was Amen.
Okay.
It was also the last song to finish. Like I wrote, I don't know, the chorus and the first verse was very channeled, like it came so quickly, and then we couldn't write the rest of the song. I was like, okay, I just guess I have to live a bit more. And then it was the last thing.
Well, that's interesting. What was the trigger then to actually finish the song? What process did you go to that you actually finally could finish the song as the last song on the album?
Yeah, I think I really trust when songs aren't finishing with effort, that it's because there's some other life experience I need to have to be able to find the words. And I feel just like living through the last 2 years and witnessing all the suffering happening in the world, all the violence. That was what gave me the poetry, I guess, to finish it.
Yeah, can you give an example of maybe, well, a poetry line or maybe the words that you wrote that you say, well, I actually, that was based upon, well, living th 2 years with this experience?
It was this line: the truth is, we're all children at the foot of the mother, but in delusion, we think we're other. Love calls us home. And I think I was reflecting on just all the othering that I see happening in the world and how we're really just all children of I don't know, higher spirit on some level.
For you, if you compare the first three albums and then with this album, um, what is for you, well, the same, and what is the biggest difference? What is the same in your music?
I think the same is that through my music, I'm always been trying to uh, both offer something that's healing for myself and for others. I can hear that um, in my early work too, just a seeking. And I think in this record, I have more of the medicine than the wound. And where the first three records, I was really dealing with a lot of interior material, and I still am with this record. I find this record is also really focused on where we are at collectively. There's more we in it than just I.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, what triggered the song Forgiveness is?
Yeah. Yeah, the big part of my record was a miscarriage I had 2 years ago. And that was actually something that where sitting with the Shipibo and visiting my teachers really helped me in my healing process.
Hmm.
Um, because I had this miscarriage on my birthday, which was, already having a miscarriage is a big deal, but then on your birthday, it's significant. It's like, what kind of riddle is life presenting me with?
Yes.
And um, the whole experience was so shocking for me that I kind of shut down for a few months. I couldn't do much, and I wasn't able to write music or sing. And then I came down here to Peru. I went on a healing journey for myself with my teachers, and I just had this big unlock that forgiveness, working on forgiving certain things within myself was the path back to the light. Maybe mistakes I'd made that I was grappling with, and also different things ancestrally because I have been dealing with a lot of ancestral material. Because I was postpartum when October 7th happened, and I'm a Jewish woman, and I just witnessing like the the event, and then also the genocide that followed with Palestine, and thinking about in that moment what it was for me to consider having descendants and what kind of world I want them to carry on, and what world we've inherited, and the different things that happened to my ancestors, and just working with forgiveness as not just a practice for myself, but also for the people that came before me. And yeah, I think that song really opened up a lot for me.
Well, your surname is Kreitzer. Did
Mhm.
when did your ancestors move to the States?
They moved. They're all here like early 1900s. They came.
Right.
So
So
we've been here about 100 years.
is it something that you feel well connected with well past generations, and then maybe the generations well need time to heal over generations too?
Sorry, can you re-ask the question?
But is it something that you feel connected with the ancestors, well, with your ancestors, and maybe also with well with the pain or maybe the endurance that they had to go through?
Yeah, I've started really trying to connect with my ancestors consciously in the last year as I've become aware that there's a whole realm that they're, I don't know, in my worldview, they're very close to us and we can kind of call on them anytime. And as soon as I put a little effort into connecting with them, I've met some of them in dreams. Um, yeah, it's been really interesting and eye-opening and humbling.
Is there someone that you well that visited you in your dreams? Maybe it's some experience that made it onto the album.
I think for sure, like the song For All the Generations, part of when I'm not touring, when I'm not in a record cycle, I hold these voice activation retreats where we sort of I work to help people sing or feel more empowered in their speech. And it's through addressing things in their own personal history, but also ancestral and political, cultural history that might have shut down their voice. And in that song, I was really feeling the gratitude to my ancestors for the fact that I'm able, to be an artist and to be free and to sing and to have to be able to feel empowered to share my voice in this world. And so, and how, using that voice is a big responsibility. And so, yeah, in that song, I'm really offering gratitude and acknowledging them and also the future generations that are coming, and how are we going to speak into being the world that we want to see.
Yeah. What? Who visited you in your dreams? Which ancestor?
I, okay, so yeah, my great great grandmother on my father's side has visited me.
And
And yes, and my grandmother who just passed, she passed on solstice. This is very witchy. My grandmother passed on December 21st solstice, and her mother also passed on December 21st solstice. Um, she has been visiting me in dreams a lot and like giving advice.
what did she give you advice maybe on this album or on a few songs?
No, it'd be great if she wants to do that. But not yet.
But then well, you said from your father's side, is several generations well, prior to you
Mhm.
to our generation.
Mhm.
Um, did you actually know her? I mean, did you know of the existence of her?
No, which is why it's so, I knew her, I knew about her. I've heard stories of her. And it wasn't until I started actively making the intention to connect with my ancestors and reading more about them, asking more questions, that I met her in a dream. I know it might sound crazy, but
What was it like, the encounter?
what's interesting is when my grandmother who passed recently visited me in a dream, it was like in the same realm, like the location looked the same. So I'm starting to feel maybe there's like some ancestral realm in my dreams. But she was lying down on the ground, sort of like she would be in a cemetery, except it was a bedroom. And she shot up and looked at me. And I was so freaked out. I woke up in the middle of the night and just like had to take a moment. But I was like, she came to life in the dream.
Interesting.
Hmm.
What did you learn then from this, well, connecting with your ancestors? What?
I feel I'm still learning a lot. It's pretty early. This has only been like 2 years, and but I'm realizing that the ancestors are super available for support, for communication, that there's ways we can communicate with them. You know, for me, dreaming is a way that I open that space, but also in sacred ceremonies, like the ones that happen here in Peru, also through paying attention to different symbols or synchronicities that might be showing up, that they have their own language. And it's not the language that we know, but it's the language that like our archival memory knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had any experience like that?
Uh, well, no. Yeah, yeah. You can also interview me, of course. But let's say this is a conversation and we're just sharing our thoughts. Well, yes, I have. I have. Well, my mom and dad, they both passed away, and so I'm an orphan. I've been now for 4 years,
Mm.
but it's okay. They were ill, so it was okay. No, but well, the thing is, when my mom passed away when I was, well, I think 12 years ago now, and my father still, well, he still lived, of course. And then I didn't have that much, well, interaction with my mom. I mean, because my dad was still there. But once my dad passed away in 2021, November, I actually have dreamt about my mom too, yes. So more than when my dad was still living. So now it's actually she's getting more, no, no, I am, well, connecting more with her now, I think. And maybe on a
What-
subconscious level,
Mhm.
but it is happening. Yeah,
Can I ask a question about a follow-up question
of course.
out of my own curiosity? Yeah, I've noticed for myself that my grandmothers visit me, both sides, and my great grandmother, but I don't hear anything from my grandfathers. And I'm wondering if you connected to your dad in your dreams.
Uh, no, not yet. Not yet. But is it something that maybe males are not connecting in dreams or?
I don't know. I'm just started, it's just a curiosity that
Well, I think they
I'm.
will. Now, yeah, of course they will. But the thing is, I think it also has something to do with the bond that you had, maybe, and maybe also with maybe the time that needs to pass. I think for actually to settle in, because my mom has been dead now for more time than my dad has been, and I think when someone passes, first you need to grieve, of course, and then grief is not something that is, well, easy to grasp, something that people walk away from most of the time, maybe subconsciously too. And I think once that has been settled in, then you can actually, then the memories come back that, well, that maybe were nice memories or maybe random memories, but I think that needs time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened with me, of course. And when well, my dad was up, he was ill too. So then you have more worries about that, and that's something that you need to deal with on a daily basis. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's it's interesting. Now, and my mom told a story that her mother passed away when well, my grand I haven't known my grandmother. My grandmother from my mother's side, she passed away when she was 53 or 54. And before she passed away, she told my mom, um, if I can, I will visit you.
Mm.
And I think I was 12 or 13 years old. And I was sitting downstairs in the early morning with, well, having breakfast before going to school. And my mom came downstairs and she was flabbergasted. And she told me, well, what happened? Well, what happened to me? This, what? tonight. And then she said that her mom visited her. But is it a dream? Is it? Or was it maybe just really, maybe in the dream um, category, is it maybe a really special part of a dream? I don't know. But that made an impact on me too.
Mm-hmm.
Her to
Yeah,
be,
special.
yeah, because my mom was really down to earth, really down to earth. So for her coming downstairs and just being flabbergasted was for me, well, it was something because it was, well, she had humor, she was down to earth, she wasn't. Uh, I haven't. I've seen her maybe crying once, and she was always optimistic. So that happening with her and the way she dealt with it, I was thinking, well, maybe it is something, maybe it is real. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I believe it's real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, because this is something that this is also something to do with, well, with the people in Peru that you visited. They also have some, well, the knowledge about this dream world.
Yeah, absolutely. The dreams are so important, right? The dreams can be prophetic or show us, what we need to work through. I am pay very close attention to my dreams. And when I'm down in Peru with my teachers there, like I'll have different dreams and bring them to him. And based on what comes up in the dream, he'll guide me towards different things.
Is there one dream that kept reoccurring while recording and making this album?
Is there one dream that kept recurring? I don't think so, but it was interesting. Like before I got pregnant, I had a dream about a bear, and I've never dreamt about bears before. They're not creatures that have visited me. And then in the next 2 weeks, I had two encounters with bears in real life, which was also very strange because I have never had those things occur before either. And then when I did get pregnant, I was reading about how the bear can represent the motherhood. If you think about, we have an expression like mama bear,
Yeah,
just the protective nature here. So those are the kinds of things I'm always paying attention to. And yeah, my dreams can be pretty psychic sometimes.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
Um, no, well, can I share a story?
Please, yeah.
Yes. Since 2 years, I am releasing my own music now, and my music
Right.
is also on Spotify. But I released my first song when I was 49. But music has always been a big passion, and I started writing when I was 17, so I have many songs lying around. But I studied physics, uh, and I also studied journalism. So, well, the thing was that um, every time I encounter some stress situations, I always have dreams about having to have my exams. You know, so I still have to learn from my exams, and that's the thing that, well. But since I have released my music, those dreams are gone. So I was thinking maybe they will return. I don't know. But I think that's something subconsciously, something that was eating me up. Something that you still have to do. You know what I mean? It was a long life wish and a passion, but I didn't have it built up. And once my dad passed away, I was thinking, well, now is the time to do it. I obviously had a little bit of money, so I invested it in my own music. And once I did that, I was thinking, well, um, now it's okay. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super powerful. Thank you for sharing. I'm curious, like, if you have any idea what the connection was with the structure of like exam passing or failing.
No, the thing is, I had my first. Now it's getting really personal, but I had sleeping problems and some sort of depression, but I think it's more to do with built-up tension. When I was 22, 21, 22, and I was a good student. I was 17 when I started studying physics, But I chose a path in life that wasn't really my path. So, well, being able to do these interviews, FaceCulture is my platform. I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm doing theater shows now with, well, musicians here in Holland. But the thing was, I also did my research. You have to do a research with physics. I did it towards the singers format. So actually music again. So I studied vowels that singers sing, the A, the I, the O, the U. And well, it's been documented that in really good singers, I mean, opera and I think in the 40s they discovered this extra peak within the frequency spectrum. So that's what I studied, but also music again, music. So I think, and I kept writing these songs up until my firstborn was 3 or 4 years old. Then I stopped for 10 years, and I had two more children. And then I thought, well, like I said, it was building up inside. I was thinking, well, it's now or never. If I ain't gonna do something with those songs, I owe it to the songs. I owe it to, well, what I want to do. So I think that was really important. And the exam was, well, I had to stop my studies for a half a year. So it was a build-up of tension too, because, well, obviously I knew I was going to finish it, but it was a stressful period. I think that was some sort of key moment in life that once I feel stress or feel a bit stressed about simple things, that is, well, for me, the message in my dreams, you have stress again. Know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, and this is how everyone has their own like dream
Yeah.
vocabulary too. So it's like, okay, the exam is showing stress. But I really love what you said about owing it to your songs.
Yeah.
It's something I feel too.
Yeah. Well, then let's switch the interview again.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
No problem. Um, well, you named several people that have visited you. There's a song about a certain Rosa.
Mhm.
Who is Rosa?
Yeah. So like I shared, when I go down to the jungle and I sit with my teachers there, they put us on different plant diets. And one of the diets that I've gone on is I have dieted the rose, which involves like I said, very socially isolated, and there are all these dietary restrictions, and then you drink a little tea of rose every day.
Oh,
And the consciousness of the plant starts to weave into your dreams, into your insights, and that's very broadly the structure of a plant diet in this Shipibo tradition is you are forming an allyship with the plant and combining consciousness. So that song Rosa came. I also these periods of time are done mostly in silence, and so I hadn't been talking, and one day I sat down and this song just came through. I had a little drum and I was singing it. It was Rosa. So the song for me has the energy of the plant and the teachings of the rose.
which is what did it teach you?
I think it's teaching for me is uh, one, protection. Like the thorn is such an important part of the rose's journey, and self-love for sure. And then the song Forgiveness Is came after that rose diet. So I think there's also the forgiveness piece of love.
Yeah, interesting. Um, well, the last subject that I want to touch on. Well, I have to do an interview, of course. The album is called "Living Through Collapse." Well, what is the collapse?
Mhm. The collapse is two-part. Personally, the collapse is this sort of identity dissolution that I went through that started with my miscarriage and went through me looking at, ancestrally looking in the future and thinking about what conscious beliefs would I want to pass on if I do have a child, if I, choose that path again, um, and allowing both my body and my like psyche to collapse so that I can become something new. and also the experience of navigating illness in this time with my endometriosis, because my body was also collapsing on that level, which is something that I only became aware of through the miscarriage. So that's like a longer story. And then the larger collapse that I'm really referencing throughout the record is the collapse in our world, like the climate crisis and our collapse in our humanity, our collapse in even knowledge as we enter this age of misinformation and post-truth, that's getting amplified with AI, the collapse, witnessing concurrent genocides happening, getting information on our phones that we've never had before, the collapse that is happening with the rise of fascism all over the world again. And this word, the poly crisis, is how I understand all these sort of intersecting injustices that are coming to a head, along with the continued extraction and destruction of land from indigenous peoples. And so, yeah, looking at this and saying, if something is ending right now in our world, if there's a consciousness that's ending, if empires are ending, like how do we be good death doulas together? And what other world can there exist beyond what's happening right now?
Are you, well, what do you think? Are you positive? Is it just a cycle now?
I don't know. I don't know. I think certainly something feels cyclical and something also feels, some days I feel quite despairing about where we're at, particularly because of the climate science. But I have to have hope too.
Of course.
Hmm.
What is well, we talked about the lyrics. What is the music part for you? Because, well, your music is relaxing, well, I think meditation also has a big part to do with it. What is it also is it also for you self meditation? The music that you write, the songs that you write, do you go back to them?
Yeah, sometimes I do, like, because some of these lessons we have to learn so many times over, and I'm certainly not an enlightened being by any means. So, like, forgiveness is a big song for me, because I'm always going to have to work on forgiveness. I think most of us do. But the intention is really like to have these songs feel safe enough when people listen to them, to feel like a hug or something, so that you can be with these deeper layers that are moving in the world right now. And so safe enough to be with maybe some of the grief that's happening when you really tune into what's moving for so many, for all of us on, human and more than human on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Um, I think, yeah, I have to stop right now. It's half an hour. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you
It
for
was,
your
re-
question.